Bart, what's your best advice for tribes today to take action to be able to tap into these different CARES Act funds? I mean, I know that it's a swirly ride. What is the next best step for them to take today?
Well, I give them more credit than that. Now, Muckleshoot has, I think, 3,000 tribal members, something like that. They're actually one of the larger tribes in the Northwest. And if you look at the linguistic map and cultural map for the Northwest, pretty much everything north of Puyallup are all Suquamish language-based tribes until you get all the way up to Victoria and there, and then it changes a little bit. So they're all related. All of the tribes you're dealing with right now, Nisqually, Suquamish, all of them were bands of a larger tribal organization. On the IHS, they're going to be, they already have their health board that is in the Portland office. The only problem right now is there's nothing working, right? All of the IHS people are at home dealing out of, so there's nowhere to meet. There's nowhere to coordinate this. They're having to count on their Indian Health Board. They're having to count on NCAI. They're having to count on their higher representatives to watch out for the policy and create the channels. There's not much that they can do pushing from underneath. Even a tribe as big as Navajo is complaining about that. You know, the only advantage Navajo has is that there's 300,000 of them and 127 communities are all each one of them is as big as Muckleshoot. That's their power and that's their weakness also. They have, I think it's 12 IHS hospitals and facilities and 3 compact facilities. So they're having to count on NCAI. They have the advantage of having a lobbyist in DC, but I'm pretty sure she's locked in a room also, as well as their lawyers. So the real problem right now with this lockdown is this policy requires a lot of face-to-face, a lot of negotiation that's hard to do over the internet and the phone. I would, they probably have, besides Joe, they probably have a sharp, well, I'm hoping, from the sounds of it, their attorney didn't have much experience in this area, but somebody there is a decent planner. And if not within the Muckleshoot, somewhere in the region, there's somebody who really knows IHS funding agreements and policy. And there's somebody who knows tribal roads, and there's somebody who knows, and coming from the Northwest, somebody knows about internet and FCC stuff. I do believe that the tribes are going to really have to push NCAI and maybe on a regional basis get some planning groups together, specific and teams, specialty teams put together to actually address this money. And sadly, they're going to have time because you know it's not going to get out there anytime soon. BIA was just, I mean, with all of the routes and paths that BIA has, they were doing their consultation last week saying, well, geez, you know, what are we going to do with this 500 million? Nice to talk to you. We'll see you next week, same time. So it's not going to go really fast, I don't think. And you've got just in Health Human Services alone, there's 6 groups that control that $1 billion. Most of it's IHS, but then there comes in other buckets also. So I think they're really going to have to draw on those organizations that they have. And if those organizations don't have the competent staffing, then they're going to have to create some ad hoc staffing.
Now that's helpful. That was our impression of some of those calls from last week as well. And it's good to know that, I mean, that the tribes aren't necessarily missing any huge opportunities. It's still going to take a lot of work and coordination with those regional offices and with those national offices. So
the only warning is that because of these old legacy tunnels and all these other relationships, the money may go down a path and be gone. At least maybe not your portion, but a different way of proportioning it may have been already determined by the time you squeak or squawk. I think every tribe should be identifying what their personal and representative resources are, from attorneys to people on boards and committees, and then figure out the best group to put together, specialized just to look out over this, so that they at least have information as quickly as they can get it, particularly since nobody can get on a plane or a boat or a bus or whatever to get to wherever. The information, sadly, is even more important now than before. So, you know, Joe is probably handling a whole lot of stuff, but Joe should probably be identifying a small working group that has specialties in each one of these areas, if not in his own tribe, a friendly one nearby or an organization, so that they can keep up on all of this and be able to at least squeak and squawk before an option is taken among various legitimate options that might be harmful to them.
Yeah, that's very helpful, especially as you said. There's not a lot of vehicles with you know, some of those different agencies that you have listed out there. That kind of coordination on the ground and squeaking and squawking, if you will, is going to be really important, and to stay focused on saying what is the piece that we need.
In the IHS area, most everybody is saying funding agreement, but funding agreements based on old historical things. There may be that some tribes are more adversely, you know, affected than others, and they're going to try to squawk up. It already happens in Indian roads. This is one of the reasons why the Department of Transportation, and more than likely NCI and tribes, have been pushing for compacting for transportation, so they can cut the BIA out of it, so that because they complain that Navajo and others just grab the majority of everything, and then they're just left with some stuff to sweep the sidewalks. So, you know, if they go directly with Department of Transportation, some of them believe that, you know, they have a new base to bargain with. So there's a lot of old axes that are going to be involved with some of this.